Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back here today to my second installment of my top 15 from each position in the NBA, and today we are doing shooting guards. I am going away from December 29th to January 9th, so all of these are going to be pre-recorded, so I really don't know your guys' reaction on the first one on the point guards. Hopefully it was pretty good and I didn't take too much heat in the comments. So, I'm going to put out the disclaimer again. This is my opinion. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a GM. Neither are you. So, this is not a perfect list. I'm sure your list isn't going to be perfect either, but you're going to probably disagree on some of the stuff I'm going to disagree with, and I'm not going to be 100% right on these are 100% the best players, 15 best players at their position, and this is going to be based off this season, not off this season. This is going to be based off in general, not off the season. So it's the top 15 players fully healthy right now. Obviously, I would take the season into a big consideration on where they're going, if they're on the decline or they're on the rise. But yeah, if you disagree with me, don't leave a dislike. If you want to, you can, but I'd rather you leave a comment giving me your top 15 list in shooting guards, or if you really disagree with one that I had over somebody else, you can tell me why in the comments section below. If we could also hit 1,000 likes, I would really appreciate that. If we can hit 1,000 likes on all 5 of these videos of the top 15 at each position, I would appreciate that a lot. So without further ado, let's get into the top 15. Coming in at number 15 is a guy that broke out this year. It's unfortunate he did get hurt, but 15 is Caris LeVert. He's averaging 18.5 points a game on 47% shooting, 31% from 3. He was killing it. He looked really good off the dribble. He looked good he could play off the ball. He looked really good driving to the rim, and he looked like a pretty good defender. It sucks he got hurt. It looked a lot worse when it happened than what ended up happening. But he'll probably come back this season. I'm going to guess February, March area. Maybe late January. We'll see. But yeah, Caris LeVert's going to come in at number 15. He's going to be on the rise at the end of this year. If he can come back, showing what he did in the beginning of the year, he could probably maybe crack the top 10. Coming in at number 14, I actually have a tie between two players. And that's between Lou Williams and JJ Redick. Both are kind of similar players. Kind of not, I guess you could even call them, you could probably call them journeymen here in the NBA. Lou Williams is averaging 17.5 points this year. JJ Redick's averaging 18 points. He's shooting 36% from the field. I'm going to probably talk about JJ Redick a little bit more, but JJ Redick, it just seems like a perfect guy to have on your team. He's just a guy that would just be able to knock down an open jumper whenever you need him to. Pretty much. And like, he's just like such a good shooter. Obviously, I could say that about a lot of guys, even like Kyle Korver, who's not going to make this list. Guys that didn't make this list also that I'm not going to talk about are Will Barton, Eric Gordon, Tim Hardaway Jr. I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the video. I apologize. Lou Will, also such a talented scorer, such a good ball handler, such a good, just even a mid-range shooter, good jump shooter in general, good at attacking the rim, pretty efficient. And those two players who kind of been journeymen, but they're just so good at scoring, come in at number 14. Coming in at number 13 is a 24-year-old out of Michigan State, Gary Harris. It sucks he did get hurt this year because people were thinking he was primed for or poised for a huge year this year, kind of like a breakout year. In his 4th year now in the NBA, he's only averaging 12.5 points throughout his career. He was averaging 16.5 points this year before he did get hurt. I believe it was a hip injury. He was shooting about 43% from the field, I think 32% from 3, so kind of solid numbers there. Not the best in the world, not the worst. On 5 threes a game, though, at least he's getting his shots up. He was getting to the line about 3 times a game on 14 shots a game. Gary Harris, really good scorer, pretty good defender, could probably turn into a really good 3-and-D player, like, to the extreme one day. Like, not like a perfect, like, exactly just special for threes and defense, but the dude can also attack the rim. And yeah, so Gary Harris is going to be 13 on my list. Coming in at number 12 is a guy that maybe wouldn't even crack the top 20 going into this year, and the dude could end up top 10 by the end of the year. He's 26, but this is only his 3rd year in the NBA, and that's Buddy Hield. It sucks that he's really this old, and now he's finally breaking out, but it was bound to happen. He's averaging 20 points a game this year, 47% from the field, on 43% from 3. He's taking about 7 threes a game. He's averaging about 5 rebounds a game as well, which is pretty solid for a shooting guard who's 6'4". In his last 10 games, he's averaging almost 24 points a game. So the dude is just getting better and better. And the Kings, who looked really shaky going this year, a lot of people were projecting them to get the first pick in the draft or have the worst record, in which they weren't even going to keep their draft pick. They're a winning team right now. They're 18-16. Fox is looking amazing. You guys heard the good things I said about him in the top 15 point guards. Hield is breaking out this year. Marvin Bagley's looking like a really good player. Bogdanovich is playing well. Nemanja, I hate his name. I can never pronounce it. He is playing really well this year. He looks like a really good signing. I trashed in the offseason. I was like 7 mil for him. Why? But hey, when he's getting more minutes in the starting lineup, the dude can play. But this is not about him. This is about Buddy Hield, who's coming in at my number 12 spot, and he's on the rise. Coming in at number 11 is Josh Richardson. Now, this is Richardson's 4th year. I believe he was a late pick in the... He was a 2nd round pick in the 2015 draft. and he's bringing out this year. He's getting full starting minutes. He's the #1 guy there. He's averaging 18 points a game, 4 rebounds, shooting 38% from 3, 40% from the field. Not that good on 16 shots a game, but the dude is also an incredible defender. That's why he's kind of higher on this list. If he wasn't a lot better of a defender than Buddy Hield, I wouldn't have had him at 11. I would have had Buddy Hield higher than him. I wouldn't even have thought of Gary Harris higher than him. But his defense helps him out a lot. Definitely the best defender I've named so far, and he'll probably be arguably the second or third, maybe fourth best defender on this list. We'll get some better defenders as the video goes on. But yeah, he's going to come in at number 11. Dude is breaking out this year. He's only 25, so it's really exciting. He's on a great contract from Miami. They really found a star in the second round. Now, coming in at number 10 is a guy off an ACL injuries last year. You might think Josh Richardson or Buddy Hield are already better than the dude. He's from the 2014 draft, Zach LaVine. He's still not the best defender in the world. That's kind of holding me back from putting him higher. But the dude is looking the best he's ever looked, and he's coming off the ACL injury with a new team. Dude is averaging 24 points a game this year on 45% shooting. Really good stuff there. 33% from the field, 4.7 rebounds, 4.7 assists. The dude is killing it this year on the offensive end. He's getting to the line 6 times a game, which is really good. He's showing that he can shoot the ball. He can still attack the rim like a freaking beast. And his defense is what's holding him back. I really hope he can change his defense. It's possible. You see guys on kind of like what I mentioned in the point guard video. Defense, they can change it around, and I'm hoping he just can become a better defender. I'm not saying he's the worst defender in the world. He's not Isaiah Thomas on defense, but he is a liability on the defensive end. I actually didn't like the $18 million he got in the offseason. I thought it was a little bit of an overpay, but not looking like that anymore. It's kind of looking like a steal. Now, here's where we get, like, to the Elite 9. That it was really hard to, like, structure these 9, and this guy coming in at all the way at 9, you might be like, wow, I have him at 6 or 7. It's Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's taking about 6.5. He's having a down sophomore year, but he's still averaging 20 points a game, so you got to give him credit for that. He's shooting 40% from the field, 29% from the 3. He's taking about 6.5 threes a game on 18.5 shots a game. He's not really been the most efficient scorer this year. He's almost averaging 2 steals a game, though, which you got to give him credit for on that. He's actually a very solid defender. He's actually a really good defender on the perimeter. I like him most than others on this list. He's just been an inefficient scorer this year. It's just a sophomore slump. He's only 22 years old. This is his second year, so you're not going to, like, him being a top 10 shooting guard already is just crazy enough. I have him at 9. I don't really know if I could put him higher than this already. I just think the other 8 that are just clearly better than him on just offense or defense, but having him at 9 is no slouch. He's 22. He'll probably be in the top 6 in 2 years, by 2 years from now. Even at the end of the year, he could change it around and he could hit the top 7 for me. Coming in at number 8 is CJ McCollum. Now, CJ McCollum is got to be one of the most talented scorers in the NBA. He's averaging 21 points a game this year on 46% from the field. He's taking about 5.5 threes a game on 46%, 33% from 3. The dude's not really much of a passer or rebounder. He's a 6'3" shooting guard, which is really small for a shooting guard. He's not really a good defender at all. He's kind of a liability, but he's just so talented on the offensive end. Kind of how I'm talking about Zach LaVine. The dude from mid-range, he's an insanely good ball handler. Him and Damian Lillard is such a scary backcourt in general. It's one of the best in the NBA. Obviously, they lack they lack forwards. And they kind of lack, obviously you can do a lot better than Yusuf Nurkic at the center position. So their team isn't really in prime position to win. They are above 500 this year. They are 19-15. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. They still might not, but I didn't think they were going to make it in general. But they are doing pretty well this year. McCollum, he's just consistent. The dude just knows how to score. I would really like to see him on another team. Maybe LA would just, I don't know, maybe swoop in trade for him, but I doubt Portland would ever want to trade him or Damian Lillard. But yeah, he's going to come in at 8. I know that people might want to comment and disagree with me putting him ahead of Donovan Mitchell. That's okay. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree on that. Coming in at number 7 is a guy that everybody hated going into this year. A lot of people said Donovan Mitchell was already better than him, and people still think he's going to have Donovan Mitchell's going to have a better career than this guy. I don't think so. Coming in at number 7 is Devin Booker for me. Devin Booker is having an insane season this year. He's averaging the second most points for shooting guards in about 25 points a game. But what's crazy enough, he's averaging 4 rebounds. Okay, for a 6'6" shooting guard. Okay, that's not, like, terrible. That's probably expected. The dude is averaging 7 assists. He's kind of been their point guard this year. Yes, they have Okubo and D'Anthony Melton, and they've brought in, I think, Jawan Evans or Jacob Evans, whatever the guy's name is. But he's mainly been their point guard. I know he's on a really bad team, so obviously he's going to get most of the shots. But it's not like he's doing this on an inefficient level. He's been way more efficient this year than Donovan Mitchell. He's averaging, or his field goal percentage is around 45%, 32% from 3. He takes about 7.5 threes a game, makes about 2.5 a game. 25 points a game, over a steal a game. He's actually shown flashes of potential on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not saying he's an elite defender. I'm not saying he's an above average defender, but I think he's better than what he once was, and he's on the rise. The dude is 7. I wanted to put him higher than this, honestly. I just really couldn't. There's 6 clearly guys better than him, or 6 guys that are clearly better than him. Devin Booker, though, I think he's going to have a better career than Donovan Mitchell. I think he's currently better than Mitchell and McCollum right now. The dude is crazy good. If you put him on, like, if you put him on the Trailblazers or the Jazz with, like, actual, like, good basketball players around him, it'd be, he'd probably even do better than what he is right now. The dude can go off ball, he can handle the ball, good playmaker, good ball header, can hit the mid-range, can hit the 3, can attack the rim. Devin Booker is going to come in at number 7. I wanted to put him higher. By the end of the year, I could maybe put him into the top 6. I don't know about the top 5. Coming in at number 6 is the guy that's 3rd in scoring for shooting guards, and that's Bradley Beal. Now, Bradley Beal's been in plenty of trade talks this year. LA has coming up. He's still averaging 23.5 points a game, almost 5 rebounds, almost 5 assists on 47% shooting. The dude can just score. He's actually shot pretty poor for 3 this year. That's kind of maybe why they've been a little bit bad with only 13 wins. I talked about kind of the Washington Wizards stayed in the top 15 point guards when I mentioned John Wall. Yes, John Wall's a top 15 point guard, Jesus. If you watch the Wizards-Suns game, the dude was insane. In the month of December alone, he's almost shooting 50% and scoring almost 27 points on that 50%. Obviously, Bradley Beal's not known to be one of the best defenders in the world. I would still rather have his defense over Devin Booker's and CJ McCollum's and Zach LaVine's. But yeah, he's going to come in at number 6 for me. I really couldn't put him any higher. He might be lucky enough to be this high because I know people in the comments would probably maybe rather have Mitchell or Booker over him. But I'm going to say I'd rather have Bradley Beal right now. He's only 25. He's literally like only 2 years older than Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, I'd rather have Bradley Beal right now out of all the shooting guards. He'd be the 6th one I would take. Coming in at number 5, he actually was hurt for a little bit this year, and that's Victor Oladipo, who broke out last year. He's the most recent Most Improved Player award winner. He's averaging 20 points a game this year on 43% from the field. He's shooting 35% from 3, which is better than Bradley Beal's. He's been pretty solid on the rebounding game. 6.5 rebounds for a shooting guard is pretty good. He's only 6'4", so he's kind of a little undersized for some shooting guards. He's also averaging 5.5 assists a game, which is really good. He's getting to the line about 4 times a game, and we know his defense. I'm not going to get into advanced analytics. I kind of really didn't talk about this in the point guard video, which I should have. I wasn't going to go really too much into advanced statistics because these videos would be 50 minutes long if I actually would go into that. So I'm only kind of talking about basic stats today, and the rest is kind of me just going off based like my eye test and how I feel about them and who I want on my team. But Victor Oladipo, the dude broke out last year. The dude is insane. Not the best defender on this list, I would say, but I would say he's the 2nd best perimeter defender on this list. I would say there's one more person ahead of him. We'll get to him in a little bit. But yeah, I would say he's definitely a better perimeter defender than Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, I would say pretty much just Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, that would even be close to him. Yeah, he's clearly the 2nd best. And Klay Thompson. I'd probably rather have his defense than Klay Thompson. I know that might be a little shocking, but I would. And yeah, he's going to come in at number 5 for me. So we're going to get into the top 5. We just got into Oladipo. Let's go to number 4 now. Coming in at number 4. Now, this is where some comments might appear down below, as people might think, how do I have this man over Oladipo, Beal, Booker? But I think it's pretty convincingly that I can have him over at least Beal and Booker and McCollum Mitchell. You can make a good argument for Oladipo, but number 4 is DeMar DeRozan for me. Now, DeMar DeRozan hasn't been known really as a elite defender, pretty much good defender. He's been kind of also known as LeBron's son as his time in Toronto, but he's in a new home this year in San Antonio. They're 3 games over 500. He's averaging over 23 points a game on 48% shooting. The dude doesn't take threes. The dude just takes mid-ranges. Can't shoot the 3 at all. He takes barely a 3 a game. And he's getting to the line, though, 6.5 times a game, which is really good. And he's shooting 84% from there. So kind of most of his points sort of come from the line. Not obviously a huge percentage, but there is a decent percentage that come from there. But that shows that he's really good at attacking the rim. He's probably one of the best mid-range shooters in basketball. And it's kind of funny because they have him and Marcus Aldridge on the same team. And they're basically just mid-range shooters. They don't know how to take threes, or they can't take threes. They just take long two. He can attack the rim. He's a good shooter. The dude's just good. That's pretty much all I can say. The dude is just good. Obviously, he hasn't shown he can win in the playoffs. I don't really like that argument a lot, like that a player's better because they don't win in the playoffs. But, because, like, here, I'll put a good example. Obviously, Anthony Davis is a better player than DeMar DeRozan, right? But DeMar DeRozan has more playoff series wins. So does that make him better? No, it's because Anthony Davis, literally, the 2 times he's made the playoffs, he's gone up against the Warriors. One in the first time in the first round, second time in the second round. And he's obviously not going to get past the super team compared to the team he has. But if you're looking at a team like the Raptors who beat the Wizards, do you give them props for that over? Yeah, so you got to get what I put out. Like, obviously, winning in the playoffs is a huge thing that kind of probably settles people from being a great to being, like, an elite player, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the player can win in the playoffs because basketball's a team sport. Unless your name's LeBron. Like, not a lot of players can obviously just single-handedly win their team a series. You obviously need to play with good players. Unless your name's LeBron James, the dude can win with anyone. But, yeah, DeRozan is going to come in at number 4. I think he's better than Oladipo currently. Oladipo in a year or two could be higher. Yep, DeRozan is probably in his prime currently right now, so I don't think he's going to get any better. It's just going to go downhill in a couple years for him. Well, that downhill is going to be like, oh, he's averaging 8 points a game. It might be, he might just average 18 a game or 17 a game. But yeah, DeRozan is going to come in at number 4 for me, so let's get into the top 3. I'm actually interested to see where your guys' top 3 is going to be in the comments below, because obviously 1 was pretty easy, but like, setting up 2, 3, 4, and 5 was pretty hard, not going to lie. But coming in at number 3, as a member of the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson probably had his most down year in a while. He's still averaging 21 points a game, which is currently right now more than he averaged last year. He is shooting not the greatest percentage. He's shooting 33% from the field. In the month of December, he's only averaging 17 points a game. In his last 10, he's averaging 16 points on 37% from the field. He's getting over a steal a game. He's averaging 4 rebounds a game. He's still taking 7.5 threes a game, 44% from the field, 83% from the wide. They still aren't good, bad numbers, excuse me. Playing 35 minutes a night, and Klay is still a really good defender. The dude is like, you wouldn't really, if you like are a casual fan, you're like, oh, Klay Thompson, he's just good at shooting threes. That's like what maybe Tim, like 9-year-old Timmy would say. But no, the dude is actually a really good defender. He's been known as elite defender at the shooting guard position for a while now. And yeah, he is going to come in at number 3 for me. It was tough. I kind of wanted to put him at 2, but there was a good argument to put him at 4 and maybe DeRozan above him. But I don't know. I think I'm comfortable putting Klay above DeRozan. Let's get into this top 2. You could probably guess it by now, process of elimination. Also, if anybody comments Luka Doncic, I have him classified as a small forward. He'll be in the next video. Don't worry. Also, somebody that could have been in this top 15 going into the year was Jaylen Brown. He has fallen out of my top 15. But number 2, sorry for making you wait, is Jimmy Butler. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, we all know he got traded from Minnesota to Philly this year. He's scoring just under 20 points a game. He's playing with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. He's shooting 47% from the field, 39% from 3. He's getting to the foul line 5 times a night, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. But the reason why I kind of put him over Klay Thompson, obviously Klay Thompson is definitely a better scorer, better offensive player than Jimmy Butler. I would say this is Jimmy Butler's prime, but I think he's one of the best, like, defenders in the league. I would say perimeter-wise, he's got to be in your top 5. Like, off the top of my head, Kawhi, Paul George, I would say he's better than Draymond Green now as a perimeter defender. Yes, you could have like Roberson in there or Marcus Smart, but I think Jimmy Butler is right behind Paul George and Kawhi Leonard as like the best perimeter defender in the league. And that's kind of why I have him all the way to number 2 spot. The dude is the like one of the best two-way players in the league. He's elite at defense. He's an elite offensive player if he wanted to. He's taking about 15 shots a game. Obviously, you could take a lot more than that, but you got to give your shots to Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and JJ Redick. But yeah, Jimmy Butler is going to come in at number 2, and you could probably guess who number 1 is going to be by now. He better be all your guys' number 1. Now, with the Chris Paul injury, okay, number 1 is James Harden, but with the Chris Paul injury, you could classify him as a point guard. He played point guard his whole 2016-2017 season before Chris Paul came, and people were like, oh, he's a point guard now. But no, I'm classifying him as a shooting guard now. Even when Chris Paul comes back, he's a shooting guard. So he's averaging 32 points a game in about 37 minutes on 44% from the field, 37% from 3, shooting the ball 20 times a night. He's getting to the foul line a whopping 10 times a night. I know everybody loves to hate James Harden now because he gets all the calls. I'm not getting into that. He's the best pure shooting guard in the NBA. He's averaging 8.5 assists, 2 steals a game, 5.7 rebounds. It's not the old James Harden on defense. No, he's a changed defender. He's not like Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, or Victor Oladipo, like I just mentioned, but he's an above-average defender. It's not like his first years in Houston where he wasn't a good defender at all. The dude could just, like, take over a game. His step back is just filthy. I don't care if he travels or he doesn't. It's still filthy nonetheless when it's legal. He's just such a good scorer. He's so good at attacking the rim. He's such a good shooter. He's so good at passing the ball, too, for a shooting guard that's a score-first guy. He also gets a lot of rebounds as well. 5.7 for him is pretty freaking good. And yeah, he takes about 11.5 threes a game, makes about 4. But he's going to be my number 1 shooting guard. I hope he's all yours as well. So yeah, that is going to be for me. That wraps up my top 15 shooting guards. I've actually recorded all of them but my top 5 small forwards. So I got one more to do. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said, if you disagree with anything, let me know in the comments below. I would prefer you give me your top 15. I'd rather just see your guys' top 15s. I think those would be very interesting to see where you guys would rank these players. So please, maybe give me your top 15 in the comments section below. And yeah, that's going to be for me. Can we maybe hit 1,000 likes? I would appreciate it a lot. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.